Hi friends, Lyuba here. Today I want to make a delicate vanilla whipped ganache with you. It turns out very delicious, with a soft, creamy vanilla flavor and a silky texture. This kind of ganache goes with many desserts, and you can pipe it for decorating cakes, sliced pastries, tartlets, cheesecakes, and other desserts. And it is not only about the appearance. Whipped ganache adds flavor and texture to a dessert, making it more tender, creamier, and more finished. You can also use this ganache not only on top but inside desserts as well. For the ganache, we will need white chocolate. It plays an important role here, so choose chocolate with a good ingredient list and a pleasant flavor, because the result depends on it. Next, we need 2 parts of heavy cream with 33% fat. We will heat 1 part, and the second will remain cold. We will also need a little gelatin. I soaked it in cold water ahead of time, and a little glucose syrup. It makes the ganache smoother and silkier, adds pliability and stability, and with it the ganache keeps a beautiful texture longer. And of course, an important ingredient is vanilla. I use vanilla paste. It gives a bright, natural aroma. Let us start with the chocolate. It needs to be gently melted. You can do this in the microwave in short bursts of 10 to 15 seconds, stirring each time. And it is better to stop a little early. The chocolate finishes melting perfectly from its own heat. You can also melt the chocolate over a bain-marie. The main thing is to make sure the bowl does not touch the water and that not a single drop of moisture gets into the chocolate. It is convenient to transfer the melted chocolate right away into a narrow, tall cup for working with an immersion blender. In a small saucepan, add the smaller part of the cream, add the glucose syrup and the vanilla paste. You can be generous as much as you do not mind. I like it when the vanilla seeds are really noticeable and crunch just a little. And add the bloomed gelatin here as well. Now heat everything together over low heat, stirring constantly, so that the gelatin and glucose syrup dissolve completely. There is no need to heat it too much. About 60 degrees Celsius is already enough. As soon as you see that everything has dissolved and the liquid has become uniform, remove it from the heat right away. There is no need to heat it further. Immediately pour the heated cream over the melted chocolate and blend well with an immersion blender until combined. Then, while continuing to work with the blender, pour in the second part of the cream, cold, and blend the mixture thoroughly again until completely uniform and smooth. Now the ganache must be sent to stabilize in the refrigerator, at least for 8 hours, and even better for 12 hours, so it is convenient to leave it overnight. During this time, the mixture matures, the chocolate and fats crystallize, the gelatin gains strength, and the ganache becomes denser and more stable. After stabilization, it will whip perfectly. Pour the ganache into a shallow container in a thin layer for even cooling and cover with plastic wrap directly on the surface. After stabilization, the ganache has noticeably thickened. Look at these vanilla seeds. It is just something incredible. Let us look at the texture of the ganache after stabilization. It is very delicate, soft, and glossy. Now we will whip it a little to incorporate air, make the texture even lighter and silkier, and so that the ganache becomes stable for piping and holds the ridges and shape well from the bag. Whip the ganache while it is chilled, best of all when it is really cold straight from the refrigerator. Our goal is to whip it to the point where it becomes fluffy, lightens slightly, and starts to hold its shape, but remains tender and pliable. It is very important not to overwhip. If you whip for a long time, the ganache will start to become too dense, lose its delicate texture, and graininess may appear. Therefore, when you see ridges on the surface and a stable but soft and pliable peak, stop. The ganache whips to the right stage very quickly, so be attentive. Let us look at the texture of the whipped ganache. It turned out stable and leaves beautiful ridges, but at the same time, it is soft, delicate, not heavy at all, and not dense. By the way, you can change the texture of the ganache by the amount of cream. For example, if I did not need the ganache to hold the piping tip pattern clearly right now, I would add more cream and the ganache would turn out even more airy and delicate. I decorated a cake with this ganache, and look how clearly and beautifully it keeps the piping tip ridges. At the same time, you can see how delicate it is, and it does not look heavy. And as I already said, whipped ganache is not only about decoration, it adds flavor and texture to a dessert. In this cake, it finishes the composition and very harmoniously complements the overall flavor profile. This kind of ganache will also be great for other desserts where you want a beautiful, delicious, and delicate creamy element. Friends, the recipe for this very delicious cake will be coming to the channel very soon. Do not miss it. That is all I have for today. Thank you all for your attention, and I will see you in new videos. Bye-bye.